I do what I want, the way I want, how I want, which also limits, there could be 1,000 clubs, and if I won't play what they want, because I only play what I want. So it limits what gigs I can get. But that's fine by me, because I don't play to like, I play the music I like the way I want. If people like it, I like it. That's cool. If they don't, that's fine. There's plenty of other music for them to listen to.
That sounds good.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes.
My name is Ben Logan.
The ships
I'm from Auburn, Maine now, but I was born in Granada Hills, California. I started playing music when I was just a wee little kid. And then I tried playing guitar for about 5 minutes, but my friend Sean McGowan played guitar and turned out to be the world's greatest guitarist. So I figured I didn't really know how to play, but he just happened to be the world's greatest guitarist. So I switched from guitar to drums at 15. Yeah. And then I took lessons all through high school, and then off to college.
Look like nothing's gonna come my way, so I'm just gonna sit on that dark little bed, watching the
To me,
tide.
I thought it was the jazz and, John Coltrane and those jazz players are the best technical players, the best proficiency, they can improvise, they can sight read. So I figured if I want to be the best at what I do, I'm gonna go learn jazz and contemporary music. So that's what I did. Just funny because I went on and played the blues, but I don't think the style matters. You learn what you need to learn, whatever your craft is. If you're an electrician, you don't say I'm only gonna work on AC units, you go learn electricity. So I learned all of music that I could. And that was basically going through jazz and contemporary, which means you learn the blues, songwriting, how to arrange, how to record, which is, I learned on reel-to-reel tape, where you cut the tape, taped it back together, and ran it on a whoop, so there was no digital. But you learned everything there was, basically everything there was about music, how to write, how to compose, how to record, how to, set up gigs, how to put a band together, how to rehearse, in, all aspects of the music. So once you got out of there, you felt like you had a well-rounded, palette, so you could go and paint whatever you wanted to paint. The Maine music scene years ago when I was in college was a pretty vibrant scene. There was a lot of little festivals. They had the whole, the fairs, and everyone had music. All the bars had music. When I was really young, all the hotels had bars, and they all had music. So it wasn't, you could make a living just playing gigs. You weren't, anyone famous, but bands like the Boneheads were around for decades, just playing local gigs. Bands like, there's ones in Lewiston, Auburn that were here for years. Dick Demere's, my drum teacher's a legend in the Lewiston, Auburn area. He's been playing since the 40s, 50s, all around with a band. I haven't been around for decades now because of that. The whole scene, there's some bars left, but it's pretty much more festivals and stuff. So the scene is kind of quieted down a lot. Mostly it's the pandemic, I think. But prior to that, it was getting a lot scarcer too. But things all come back, and the pandemic is just a fact of life. So you got to deal with it and wait for things. No one wants to go out and watch a blues band so they can get sick and die or be stuck in the hospital. That's not really worth it for a cold Pabst Blue Ribbon. You can wait another year and check it out outside when it's warm out or whatnot. So things will be back. And I'm actually been out playing some of the places that I used to play. Most of them are gone right now, but some places are still open, and I've been going out playing some blues, doing some open mic stuff, which is not a gig, but there's not much open, so you got to go out and play, get back into it, and that's how you network. So when things open back up, you're front in the line, ready to go back out again. I think it was just 2 years it was shut down, but it was unfortunate because they started the Cigar Box Guitar Festival, which was something that's been going along for about 10 years. It's been a bigger thing. It's been a little bit less in the about 20 years. The last 10 years it's been kind of waning, but before that it was turning into lots of festivals everywhere, and everyone's kind of getting into making their own funny little guitars, and it was starting to grow. But that's the first year it started, then the pandemic came, so the Cigar Box Festival has gone to the wayside now. And the Blues Festival, the Maine Blues Festival, is kind of holding on, but it's can't find a venue. It was in Lisbon Falls this last year, which only has 1 or 2 actual bars. So it made it really difficult. It was pretty much one venue had all the acts, and the acts were a lot less than they were before, because there was, I think, about 100 acts before. There was just acts for days, and there was, everyone would play for an hour or 2, so there was all day long for like a weekend. So you had hundreds of acts at different venues playing, and a lot of really good and local acts. It was a whole festival of hundreds of acts. They were all good from Maine. It wasn't like most festivals bring people in, and the main acts get to play the beginning stuff maybe, and then larger people come in to play from out of state. But I think there's lots of acts here, and that's what made the blues festival so fun, is that it wasn't all blues, but it was all Maine musicians, and it just shows that, like when I grew up, Maine was this backwoods place that, oh, you're from Maine, you don't know anything. And I mean, the internet's been around for a long time, and it's been probably 40 years since it's been like, oh wow, look at you Mainers dressing like, everyone knows what's going on now. So Maine's not a backwoods place. You get guys, I try to play like Mississippi Hill Country blues, and you think, oh, no one knows that. Well, Cedric Burnside was up here 3 years ago playing at the international, the Atlantic Folk Festival, which is a major festival up in Bangor. So, people know Mississippi Hill Country blues. People know anything you can think of right here in rural. You can go out to Presque Isle and the guys play Mississippi blues. You'll be like, what? That's how it goes, that the world's open. That's where my musical life has kind of ended. Well, that's where it is at this point in time. Playing music, trying to get the lo-fis rolling. Got a new bass player, Mike is Altastrava. He's playing bass with me, so we're gonna have a new group. And you'll be seeing us soon, because we get better every day. Other people stay the same, we just keep going like this, so you'll be seeing us. Be opening for Jack White when he's 70.